If not, your homework is due on Thursday by noon. Same thing happened with your test plan. Make sure that you submit your test plan this Thursday so that the project manager will give you feedback over the weekend so you can finish up your final deliverables. And also schedule a demo with him for next week. Okay, I think he's going to send out that WhatsApp link pretty soon. All right. So we have basically 2 chapters to go. So we'll be talking about post-delivery maintenance this week. And this is also a recap of what we have learned early on. Then on next Tuesday, we'll be talking about teams. This will give you a preview of all the team projects that's going to happen in other classes and that will be coming up. So just a little bit discussion about team before you head into your capstone project, your other team projects in different classes. Then we all have in-class exam Thursday. That'll be June 6th. So if you need a special testing arrangement with the testing center, let me know. I will make sure that you have your test paper over there on time. Okay? But you have to reach out to me and let me know. Otherwise, I have no way to know it. Okay? So the test itself is going to be 1 hour and 50 minutes, basically whole class time for us in this room. Okay, we'll have to get out of this room sharp at 1:50 because there's actually another class right after. So essentially you would have to turn in your test paper before that. The test is going to be completed closed book and closed note. No electronic devices. No calculator is necessary. But if you want to use one, you can have one. But make sure you have a calculator, not your phone. So I don't think you need a calculator, but if you prefer, bring a calculator. So then your pen, pencil, and eraser. That's all you need. You don't really need the scratch papers because we'll print the test questions on single-side paper, so you'll have plenty of white space for you to work on your solutions. Okay, so basically, your table should be clean with just your pencil, pen, and the eraser, and your calculator. And I'll give you a stack of paper, and you will work on that and turn that back in. Off you go, right? So that'll be it for your test. Questions about your test format? Good question. If you have into classes, then you know what you're going to be covered. Yeah. So if you have been here enough times, you should know what I'm going to test exactly in the test. Okay. So pretty much it will not go beyond our homework, not going to go beyond our project, not going to go beyond our quizzes. You should see all these questions in your homework, in your project, in your quizzes. Okay? The quizzes, second half of the quizzes, starting at week 5 or above, those are the questions that you can look at, but your real question in the test will not be as difficult as those, right? Because these questions are really challenging questions that you have to know how to solve the problem. So we are going to give you a programming challenge, which is going to be, you know exactly how to solve the problem, but you have to write your code in pseudocode. And you have to be able to test that pseudocode as well. Okay? So it's not going to be, oh man, I haven't learned this algorithm in any classes, so I wouldn't be able to answer the question. It's going to be, oh, I know exactly what to do, but I just need to write them out in pseudocode in the right way, and being able to come out with the control flow graph, and being able to generate test cases according to the technique we talked about before. Okay? The best reference for you, our homeworks with their sample answers as well. your project report, which you have done, and also got feedback on, and also all the quizzes. I'll make sure that all the quizzes questions will be available next week. Okay, so you are not going to see exactly the same question. I can guarantee you that, but it's just pretty much on the same form. For instance, all the questions you see on LeetCode, they are not going to appear in your test. Those are really for you who think that it will be useful for you to take all the programming challenges in your real job interview. You better look at the second half of our quizzes. For preparing our exams, I don't think you need to worry about those questions. Right.
So when you say the quizzes are going to be available, do you mean like on U2L or?
I'll see if I can make it available. So the thing is, I couldn't see your view myself. So even if I try to turn it on, I may not actually do the right thing. So in the worst case, I'm just going to post a document on our website. That's probably what they're going to do.
And you'll let us for class.
Yeah, certainly before next Tuesday. For sure. Yeah. So with next Tuesday So what I just did is a review of what you need to get for your exam. We'll do it again next Tuesday. So essentially, I have done this a couple times, or more than a couple times. So I'm talking about this now. I'm not also going to talk about it on Tuesday. Okay. So essentially, you need to come up with use cases. You need to be able to identify your classes. You need to be able to refine your classes into your design of the interface and also the algorithm that you are going to use for the implementation. You should be able to write pseudocode. You should be able to test your pseudocode. Generate test cases based on your pseudocode. That's what I mean. Yeah, that's about it. Okay, so all your questions in your homeworks you should get familiar with. All the questions that you have, all the things you have done in your project in terms of requirement analysis, on high-level design, on the detailed design, on test plan, implementation. If you have done those things, the exam should be pretty straightforward. I think for most of you, you'll finish within an hour. How long you will stay, that's really up to you. So certainly there's no actual credit for turning your test paper in early. Okay, the amount of work typically is going to take an hour, depending on your skill level. So it can be shorter, it can be longer, but 1 hour and 50 minutes is more than enough. Okay, I actually expect that most of you guys will be done by 1 hour 30 minutes. Okay, the test is not difficult. Just that you need to know the basics. Just like the theme of our class is knowing the basics. Demonstrate that you can do the basics. Okay, we're not here to craft ultra competitive algorithms. We're not here to learn programming tricks. Okay, we're not here to learn operating systems. We're not here to learn databases. We're not here to learn graphics. Here, we're just learning the most basic software engineering by using your programming skill. Come up with the requirement you're going to implement, do the design, carry out the programming, get them test, deliver. Okay, that's all the demonstration necessary for my class. Okay, for other great tricks you are going to learn, that will be your algorithm class, your programming language class, your database class, your graphics class, networking class, and what have you, right? So that's not the subject of this class, basically. All right, questions? 2 assignments due this Thursday. If you have, so there's no extension on test plan. if you still have late days, you can use those for your homeworks. By Saturday noon, you should be seeing your project manager and your grader should be grading your homeworks and the project plans. And by Monday, you should see the sample answers. So you have basically more than 3 days to work on your preparation. So all the material will be available to you. Okay. Then after your exam, you have basically a demo, a quick walkthrough with your project manager to show that your program can run. Getting the right result, check the check marks, which we have in our requirements. Okay. So you have this, you have this checklist we have been using for quite some time, which has been stabilized. Okay. So this is essentially your acceptance test. You could do this on yourself, 100%. Okay. Just very easy demo. Come to the grader and demonstrate all these things. You're done.
Right. Do we need to schedule a time with the
Yes.
project manager?
He's going to send out a sign-up list.
Okay.
Maybe sign-up Genie or something like that.
Right.
So basically, you come here with your program loaded, ready to go. And he will have a sheet of paper for you. So basically, you and him walk through the 10 items and check out all the items you have done, and you got the grade for your final deliverables. Very straightforward. Any questions about that demo?
And we'll just run that on our own system.
On your own system.
Laptop.
If he has doubt or something like that, he will download your code and take a look, right? Other than that, he will be, I think that your code is there for him to investigate if he need to, but so yes, you will demonstrate on your home sheet. But you should make sure that if he does go to your repository, he can actually just download the whole thing and get it working, right? So if not, that will be penalty. Questions about this list? So this is essentially your user's acceptance test, which we agreed upon at the beginning of the project. So essentially, you have list of all the use cases basically here. Okay, so you have to come up with test. I hope you have come up with test cases to test all the scenarios of these use cases. Okay, if you have done that, that will be your test plan, right? So you can see that we already gave you all use cases. We already gave you all the test cases. What you need to do is basically do it, right? So that's why our class is it's called Elements of Software Engineering. Okay, yeah, we set it up in such a way that you basically just need to demonstrate you can do this. Basic thing. Get a small program implemented, test it, deliver. That's it. Questions about our acceptance test? This will be your acceptance test from your customer. I mean, this is how things, very similar to things that happen in reality as well. You basically walk through with your client representative and sign off on the deliverables. So that you complete the whole life cycle of your program. All right, cool. So with that, we're going to talk about something you are not going to do, and not probably we don't have time for this. Not going to do, but you will be doing in real projects, right? Our time, you can see that we packed the project in 8 weeks already, pretty tight. We basically pushed all the way to the last day to finish your project. So we just don't have time for the maintenance work. Which if you have a 13-week term, semester, you will be doing one more iteration with added functionality. But that basically is going to be your maintenance. So it typically come as an increment of requirements. Okay. So what is so here are the topic we are going to cover today. Basically talk about why maintenance is important and how we are going to do them. So essentially, post-delivery maintenance, this is something, as I mentioned, you're not doing with my project, right? Once you deliver your project, got all your points scored on Friday, I think probably all of you will forget about your project for good and say, okay, I'm done with that. I'm done with that for good, right? So I'm not interested in picking it up anymore, right? Which is actually not true in reality. If that happened to you in reality, the only consequence will be that you are either out of your job or you're out of your business, right? So if you create a piece of software and basically it ceases to exist once it's finished, then you know that you basically waste all your time almost, and you're not going to make any money from that anymore, right? So post-delivery maintenance, essentially any change to any component of the product, including documentation, once it has passed the acceptance test, right? So essentially, this is okay. We have our software delivered, and now guess what? It's very common we're going to have to make changes, right? So basically, here we're trying to talk about is, okay, your development typically would not stop when you deliver the first version of your software. Actually, that's just a new beginning of your software development process. Okay, so at that time, it's probably it's not even midway. It's actually just the beginning of a long software development process. So what we're going to talk about here is actually how we will make sure that we have maintainability so that we can keep maintaining our software systems. You have different kind of maintenance you need to do. For instance, this one you're very familiar with, which is corrective maintenance. Basically, even the best programmer, even the best programmer in the world, if you measure in 1,000 line of code, you have at least 4 or 5 bugs. The best programmers. Okay, so nobody can claim that I have no bug in my system. If you can make that claim, the only thing that I can conclude from that is that you don't have anything useful in your code. Okay, so essentially, even for the best programmers, 1,000 line of code, you'll see 4 or 5 bugs. Okay, then come to us, it's probably 1,000 lines, 40 or 50 bugs, right? Easily. Okay, so so basically, we'll have to go back and change the faults, bugs in the design model, in implementation, in documentation, or other things. This is the case. You did something wrong in your implementation. You have to fix them. Okay, this is likely. This is mostly whenever you receive your patches for your applications, for your operating system, for your database. This is mainly what's happening. Okay, people are correcting their own mistakes. Okay, Microsoft does this, Apple does this, Google does this. Almost all the software company software do this. Even hardware company, they do this as well, right? Intel will send you a firmware update. Apple will send you a firmware update. Those updates are actually changing the software included in the hardware, so that they can fix hardware bugs. You may be wondering, oh, hardware already made, how do you fix hardware bugs. Okay? I mean, typically now you have software running on the hardware embedded. Okay? How do you fix the bugs of your hardware? You basically go implement the software functionality which will mask the hardware bug. Okay? For instance, just not make sure that will not happen. That's basically what you do to patch out hardware. Okay? Or you have the better, okay? Nobody really likes the first part, but you have to do it because you made a mistake, you have to eat it up, right? So that's the part you have to do to stay in business. Otherwise, if you don't fix your own bugs, I mean, next time probably nobody is going to buy your software, right? So this is something you have to do, right? Because you are essentially cleaning up what you have done wrong. The next type is actually something nice, which is perfective maintenance. This is your clients come to you and say, I need different functionality or newer functionalities. This is the time you are actually rubbing your hand and say, good, let's talk about some new money, right? So this is actually your business, basically. When they ask for updates, new functionalities, and changing functionality, then that's really new income for you, okay? So adding new functionality makes the product run faster, improve maintainability. Certainly that's for yourself, but those two are actually for the customers, right? Whenever they come to you for this, you should be extremely happy, all right? So certainly one thing is you're getting more money. You should be happy about that. The second thing is your software is actually useful for your client. That is actually more important than getting the short-term money. Okay, which means that the thing you made has life. Okay, will actually evolve for a certain time rather than just disappear the second you finish the product. There is another type which is very similar to the second type called adaptive maintenance. This is actually adapt to changing environment.